This is RJ City, and I am ethically opposed to any more wrestling podcasts. I don't know why you guys are talking about wrestling. It is a niche product. It is a very small industry. Yet, at this point, there's more wrestling podcasts than there are wrestlers. There is something wrong with society as a whole, but as you get smaller and smaller into wrestling, and then the wrestling podcast sphere, it gets even worse. And one such example, if I may turn on the microscope and look at the drudgery that happens to be True Heel Heat. SP3, Sid, this is your fault.
All right, hello, True Heel Heat. I'm the AEW World Champion, MJF. Just in case you're deaf, dumb, blind, stupid, or since you listen to this podcast, or you're listening to True Heel Heat, and I apologize for that.
Hello, everyone. It's the hardcore legend, Mick Foley, wishing a nice day to everyone there, right there, at True Heel Heat. Yeah!
Hello. It is me, your True Heel Phenom, SP3, and we are live on the True Heel Heat YouTube and Facebook and Twitch for our AEW Double or Nothing 2026 preview. Breaking down this Sunday show from Louis Armstrong Stadium in Queens, New York, as championship gold will be on the line, as well as somebody's hair. And we're here to break it all down and give our predictions for the show. And to do that, we got an all-star panel here today, as per usual, for our previews for the AEW pay-per-view events. And of course, you get the most lovely, one of the most lovely faces here on the True Heel Heat YouTube channel to talk about it, the one and only unfiltered soul that is coexisting with Rob on Fridays on Fightful Overbooked. The one and only Maggie is here. How you doing, Maggie?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm currently eating. Like you guys know that when SP3 and I usually do these predictions, I just got home from work. And then afterwards, we have our show on Fightful Overbooked. And because I don't have much time to eat, apart from, whatever I've eaten at work, I started making chocolate protein pudding. It's made with dates, protein powder, Greek yogurt, stuff like, and it, because dates are really sweet themselves, they have fructose in them a lot, so this does have any added sugar to it. So it's so good because, like, when my partner and I got together initially, he said that he didn't like to eat sweet stuff or chocolate and everything like that, which was good for me because when you're with someone who doesn't eat a certain, type of food, you stop eating it too, especially when it comes to sweets and chocolate, because like, stop it. And I'm like, oh, yay. But because he knew that I love chocolate, he started bringing me a lot of chocolate, which he ended up eating himself. And like, I thought you didn't eat chocolate. And he was like, yeah, I don't know what's happening. And he's like eating it all. And I'm like, okay, this has to stop. And I started making this. Guys, this is the most wonderful thing in the world. It tastes like chocolate and it doesn't have any. And
Wow.
it's so good. And it has chia seeds, so it's rich in fiber and a lot of protein. And I'm like, So I'm currently, stuffing my face with it. So throughout at the end of the show, I'll probably have, chocolate all over me. So like, it's not, yeah. How are you guys doing apart from that?
Well, at least this story ended and you don't have to change your sheets like last time.
Okay.
But
okay. No, John has a bunch of questions now.
well, let's introduce him first. Joining us from the good brother from Dirt Sheet Radio, the one and only Jon Escudero is here. How you doing, John?
What's up, everybody? I was just gonna ignore. I wasn't even gonna address. I was just like, you know what?
No, we don't do that here. We talk about our feelings.
You thought you were coming for an AEW Double or Nothing preview? No, this is therapy.
No, this is therapy.
What happened to the sheets?
True heel heat and true heel heat, true heel eats, and true heel sheets.
Sheet. Well, John, sweetie, I'm so glad to meet you. So that, like 2 weeks ago, I was getting up for work, and my partner spent the night with me. And what I do every morning is I bring him a cup of coffee while I'm getting ready, because like he needs to wake up. So I bring him a cup of coffee in bed, and then I continue, putting on my makeup and everything. So he spilled the coffee in bed, and because he knew that I'm such an OCD neat freak, he knew that I was gonna be so fucking mad. He started cleaning extensively, and he was so panicked. But like the week that I told the story was way better, because like it was so fresh and new. And the thing is, I have forgotten all about it, sweetie. Thank you for reminding me. But
my bad. I'm sorry to Maggie's partner. I'm sorry.
No. The thing is that this week while I was changing my sheets, and I'm like, oh yeah, there's a coffee stain. Because it's on my mattress, and it will forever be on my mattress.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no!
And that's why he freaked out so much, because and he gave me crap for eating cashews in bed, and then he spilled my coffee. So like
he can never tell you should eat cashews every night now. He
never.
Can never tell you nothing.
I understand, but every now and then he sees me, because when we're FaceTiming, when we don't get to spend the night, and he's like, "Are you eating in bed?" And then he stops. He's about to, "Are you eating in bed?" And then he remembers, and he just shuts the fuck up.
Oh, love it. I love it.
Yeah, you don't need to highlight my own comment like that.
I just wanted to do that. That's just funny. But yes, thank you for joining us live. We appreciate y'all. If you're joining us live, appreciate y'all. If you're watching us on demand, either way, show your appreciation back the simplest way possible. Drop a thumbs up on the video. That helps us out so much. You can also share this video with all of your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to the True Heel Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here If you're watching on Facebook, watching on Twitch, hit the hearts, hit the like, whatever you can do to show your support. That's a good way to do it as well. Subscribe over there if you're watching there. You can comment down below if you're watching us on demand over on YouTube. And of course, if you're with us live, you can sound off in the live chat. We love to interact with all of you. Hear your thoughts on AEW. Highlight as many of your comments as possible. But of course, if you're feeling generous, you want to give back to what we do here, you want to show your support to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel in the best way possible, you could do so with a super chat donation. Any dollar amount matters. It goes back to the contributors that you see on screen with us here, and we always appreciate the support. We got Matthew Hooks joining us live. Thank you, good sir. We appreciate the support. One of the good brothers saying SB3 Maggie. He said he meant to say John. Looking forward to Double or Nothing. I like that. A couple of matches. I have no clue who is winning. We need more of that. I hope we get a surprise or two, which is the perfect segue to give our overall anticipation level, overall hype level for this Sunday show, as we always do with our pay-per-view previews. We will start with John here. John, what is your hype level from 0 to 10? How much are you looking forward to Double or Nothing?
Give it a good 8. I am generally like, this is a great card. I feel like with AEW pay-per-views, I'm generally looking forward to them because they're usually really good. But the Darby Allin MJF thing has me hooked. I'm having fun with that. And it's just a series of great matches on this. Ospreay, Joe, Swerve, Bandido. These are like, they're not even the main focus of this card. And like, you almost might forget that they're on it, but those are like high, top tier quality matches. So it's gonna be a great show.
Maggie?
So I'm at a 8.5, really, because listen, it's probably gonna go up to a 9 after I finish watching Saturday Night Main Event, because Jesus Christ, and then I'm gonna be so excited. I'm gonna be so excited to watch something, meaningful, and it's also a Saturday pay-per-view, which means I get to watch it in peace on Monday morning and not hurry up before work. So I always do that when it comes to Sunday pay-per-views, because I prefer them. I know that for the rest of the world, Saturday night pay-per-views are better, but I'm a bartender and I work every day, so it's just, it doesn't work for me, brother.
You prefer the Sunday shows.
I prefer the Sunday shows. Everyone hates me for that.
I actually don't disagree, but it's more like a nostalgia thing for me. I just like, it takes me back to WWE pay-per-views when I was a kid. But as a person that has to post things to get paid, I do appreciate that extra day from like Saturday and Sunday. Like, nobody has anything going on that Sunday, so everybody's just scrolling and talking about the night before. So like, there's balance there.
Hey, I just love the fact that, unlike when I was a kid and I watched Sunday pay-per-views, I make my own schedule now, so I could take off on a Monday and get some sleep. That's what I did. I am not working this Monday, folks. So yes, I will be here to review the show and we could talk about it some more. But as far as me, my anticipation level, I'm at like an 8. Mostly I'm at an 8 because, the card match-wise, it's going to deliver. There's so many great matches on the card. I just feel that AEW knows that, and that's why I'm not too enthused with the build-up. Most notably, what I think is going to be one of the best matches on the card, and I'll just get it out now before we even get to that matchup. One of the best matches on the card, I think, is going to be Okada versus Takeshita. AEW didn't even bother building this. They literally it's gonna be great on Sunday. Who cares about a build?
It's been a long time though. Like, it's been months of no plot development, like, at all. It's nuts.
They just did the match at Dynasty and just said, I guess artwork is done. Like,
they had to focus on fucking Darby Allin, the butthole. And that's why they did.
I
Darby Allin, the butthole is hilarious.
Darby Allin, the super butthole, and then he had to take focus off the thing that matters. No, who cares about the AEW champion? No, like we need to get Takeshita and Okada.
Yeah, it's actually been nuts though. When did it like? There was a lot of teasing, and it felt like there was a story coming though. Like that's the thing that sucks. Like they were teasing like if something was gonna happen eventually, but it just ended up being teases for forever, and then like months of space in between like any interaction between them. It's actually crazy how they did that.
Yeah. And I will save my grievances on the women's division when we get to those matches. But yeah, I think still it's at an 8 because it's an AEW pay-per-view. They can like lax on the build up to stuff. And I do agree with John. The best built matchup is the main event. I know Maggie probably disagrees, but it is the best built matchup because it's the matchup that actually has a story going into it.
I don't disagree. It is the best built match. I just fucking hate it.
I respect you. I respect you for that same energy. But yes, it's about that time. Let's get into this card here. This is a rare case, Maggie, where we're doing an AEW pay-per-view preview, and we pretty much know the card for even the buy-in. Like usually by this time, we were getting like buy-in matches like at the last minute, but we know at least 3 of the matches that will be on the buy-in. And I also want to note, I do enjoy the fact that with AEW, it's a 0 hour for every other pay-per-view, but it's the buy-in for Double or Nothing. I like the
That's
casino.
Commitment. Yes,
commitment to the bit. You know us here. We appreciate commitment to the bit. We all have a good bit in our life. So it's good.
Talking about the buy-in, can we just mention Mick Foley being a part of the buy-in?
I got the graphic right here. That was the first thing I was going to address, is that we're getting a big debut on the buy-in as one of the co-hosts of the buy-in alongside Renee Paquette, WWE Hall of Famer, the legendary Mick Foley, in his hometown, just an hour away from Long Island, New York, in Flushing. He will be there as one of the hosts. So the question that we got to ask here, how much involvement will Mick Foley have, not only on Double or Nothing, but in AEW moving forward? Tony Khan addressed Mick Foley being on show and says that he would like to have Mick Foley featured on more pay-per-views and special TV events. Do you think that we're going to get a formal hashtag Mick Foley is all elite kind of graphic and stuff like that? And what type of role do you kind of envision Mick Foley in AEW, Maggie?
First of all, let's start off with, as if I had needed to love Mick Foley more, he gave the boot to Jeff Jarrett, and so I can finally watch buy-in without watching Jeff Jarrett's stupid face. So, which means that I finally get to have a bit more fun watching AEW pay-per-views. So it's, I don't know. I don't know if he'll be able to get a more prominent role in AEW. If he can, he should. I don't know if he wants to get that deep into wrestling once again. I don't know. That's his decision. It doesn't matter what we as fans want. I would love it if he can be on commentary for, certain matches, certain types of matches. Rob and I discussed the idea of him managing someone last week. I'm not sure who, but again, it's fucking pisses me off. Everyone's talking about Darby Allin. Just stop it. Why does everyone need to ruin my love for wrestling when they put all the Hall of Famers with Darby? There are other wrestlers on the roster, and we all know the freaking boner that TK has for Darby. So, like, if if he can just remember that he has, some other staff on, on the roster. I mentioned the idea, and I know everyone's gonna hate that. I mentioned the idea of Mick Foley actually really quickly turning heel and managing Jon Moxley. I'm gonna fucking love that because like they have history also from WWE, so it can be a lot of fun. But yeah, I don't know about a managerial role, but I would love it if he can give ideas creative wise, because he has the brain for it, he has the mind, and the capability of all of the history that he's been through in wrestling. So I'm not exactly sure, and I hate speculating because then I get my hopes up. But like, what do you guys think?
I do have 2 questions for you.
Yeah.
You said Mick Foley turning heel and managing Jon Moxley. One is Jon Moxley a heel? And 2, does Jon Moxley know that he's a heel?
That's a good man. He's a good man. He made some mistakes. He's a good man.
I don't think he knows if he's the heel or not.
No one knows. I don't think creative knows either. But I love the fact that because like people get to choose, and it turns out that the audience kind of loves Moxley, hates the majority of the Death Riders, despises Wheeler Yuta, boos Marina Shafir, but thinks she's a fucking badass. And like, I don't know, for me, Claudio Castagnoli is one of the most underrated wrestlers in the entire world. One of the best things that ever happened to him was to tap out Chris Jericho with the swing to win the Ring of Honor championship. And that's about it. Like everything else, But I don't know. The Death Riders are kind of tweeners right now. Maybe not so much because of the Will Ospreay thing, but like they're still kind of iffy. They're kind of dodgy.
John, what about you? What do you think about Mick Foley being in AEW, and what do you see for him at Double or Nothing and in the future?
They asked Tony Khan about Mick Foley, and then the idea of physicality came up, and Tony Khan was like, "Oh, if we don't want to put him in a situation where he feels like he has to," and I just was like, "Oh, I kind of wish that was a hard no." Like, I wish he had said, "No, that's not gonna happen," because I just get this feeling like Mick Foley's gonna do something, and I don't want Mick Foley to do things. Like, I really I would be okay with him, being a host or actually something I really wanted, not to be Darby Allin's manager, but I wanted a segment with Foley and Darby, kind of similar to the one he did with Edge before. I think it was Hell in a Cell, in 2009 or something like that. Yeah, it was awesome. It was just the idea that Mick Foley is this cautionary tale, and Darby Allin gets to hear it from somebody who already did everything he did and ended up fucked up over it. I'm hurt. I'm fucked up. I can't wrestle. It's almost the same way they're shifting Will Ospreay's style on television. Like the day Darby Allin needs to tone it the fuck down, there's a plot point built in already. It's like right there. If you have access to Mick Foley,
he won't listen though.
He won't. That's also a really good story though. Like that would also be a really good plot line.
Hey, that's a nice do it. It's a nice twist.
There's a bunch of other people though too, like Foley and Mox, Foley and Briscoe. I want him to kind of
Foley
be this
and MJF.
Foley and MJF. I just kind of want him to be this like floating consciousness of AEW that just kind of appears when people need to hear something. Because Mick Foley's generally like motivational dude. Like you see Mick Foley, you smile about it. I would like to see him be this like spirit of AEW character, but something that nobody has to hurt him. Like I just don't want him to get.
It's Mick Foley. Yo, I said to everybody. People were telling me, I hope Foley doesn't take a bump. I was like,
no, he will. That's the thing that kills me. He's going to, because like he literally bumped for the Invisible Man. He bumped for like no one. What makes you think he's not gonna be in there and do 1 or 2 and just get the feeling again? And it's like, man, I just hope he's okay.
Yeah. And it would get amazing amount of heat if it's like MJF dropping Mick Foley.
Exactly.
That gets a bunch of heat. But let's talk about the buy-in matches. First up, it's Maggie's favorites. It's Boom and Doom. They are back in New York City for AEW Double or Nothing buy-in as a team with the Conglomerations, Mark Briscoe, and the AEW World Trios champions, Orange Cassidy and Roderick Strong, to face Shane Taylor Promotions. Shane Taylor, Lee Moriarty, Anthony Ogogo, and the Infantry, Captain Sean Dean and Carly Bravo. These the Shane Taylor Promotions and Boom and Doom have plenty of history together, especially dating back to the last time we saw Boom and Doom at Revolution, where Shane Taylor got into it with Wayne Brady. He pushed down the Rizzler. So if he's gonna have another interaction with the Rizzler, sign me up for it. But seems pretty obvious. The Undertaker-like streak on AEW pre-shows of Boom and Doom will continue. I'm going with Boom and Doom and Conglomeration. John?
Boom and Doom is gonna get that win. And you know what's funny? I always see they always get announced for the pre-show, and I always see the poster, and I'm like, why are we doing this still? You know, and then the match happens. That was real fucking fun. Bring him back again. So like it's gonna happen again. I saw the poster and I was like, oh shit, they still work here. What the fuck? And I'm sure tomorrow it's gonna be another match where I was like, damn, I had a fun time. That was silly. Bring him back next month. I love the Rizzler.
Every single time. Maggie, your favorite matches to talk about on the pre-show. What do you think?
God fucking damn it, man. I didn't even know that this match was happening. I was like, oh yeah. Like we get a buy-in without those fuckers on it, and there you go. And I didn't even know that this match was happening. What are we still doing? What is this Boom and Doom crap? And like, why? What is this Rizzler thing? Like, why are you Americans loving the Rizzler so much? Like, what is the why?
He's a funny little dude.
Whoever is managing the Rizzler needs to tell him to fucking stop doing that, because like, okay, just maybe like do it 3 times in front of a camera, not 3 times, because stop it, Sid. And like he's continuing doing stuff, and I'm like, are you itchy? Like, does your face itch? Like, why? God damn it. It's against Shane Taylor. I fucking love those guys. Why are they jobbing to a bunch of Boom and Doom crap?
I do want to see them on TV.
Boom and Doom. Boom. And then the boom for you. We get the boom. Because that's what
Taylor
we do.
Shane Taylor Promotion should be on TV. If this is going to get them on television, this is what they have to do to get on television.
That is the saddest thing.
They can only job to the Conglomeration and Boom and Doom. That's how they get on TV. Here we are. At least I say this is an upgrade from losing to the Sons of Texas. But anyway, in an AEW Women's World Tag Team Championship 5-minute eliminator, it's going to be Divine Dominion. Lana Cross and Megan Bain going up against Zayda Steel and Viva Van. They issued the challenge following the latest 5-minute eliminator from the champions on AEW Collision this week. Zayda Steel, along with Christopher Daniels, said they were forming a tag team with Viva Van, and they wanted to take the 5-minute eliminator after their good showings at ROH Supercard of Honor. Can these ladies survive 5 minutes with the goddesses known as Divine Dominion? Maggie?
I don't think they can. Divine Dominion has been pretty dominant, and I love it. But the thing is, it's the fact that they're just waiting around for Wembley when they finally face the Brawling Birds, which is, I'm pretty sure that this is, you know, the way that this is going. It's kind of annoying because they don't have anything and planned for them until now, or at least it doesn't seem that they do. And if up until Wembley they just have 5-minute eliminators, I'm gonna be a bit mad because they can do a
No,
lot.
I don't even think they're going to be the one who survives the 5 minutes. If Matthew wants to answer to this and I can answer you at the same time, TJ will probably be the ones who survive the 5 minutes to set up a title match.
Yeah. I hope so, because like they finally have Anna Jay back and Ty Mello back. So that women's tag division needs all the help it can get, because like ever since they won the tag team championships, it's like all the women in the tag team division evaporated like quickly, because like I understand that they're so dominant that you just don't want to face, they're acting like a bit scared, which is, I don't think they should be, because it's wrestling, and Thunder Rosa is right there. She doesn't need to get misted on television. Justice for Thunder Rosa. And I don't know, man. Like, she can be on something else other than Ring of Honor or a buy-in. So let's just get, a proper tag team feud and get it on the main card. If we can. Please.
The only reason I'm looking like this is because you're kind of asking for too much when there is no feuds whatsoever. There's like one story going on in the women's division, and it has to do with Hikaru Shida being a disingenuous babyface that everyone knows is a heel.
Yeah, I understand that, and asking for more is usually the way things go, because if there's, usually, okay, because when there's a demand, there's a supply, right? That's how the world works. And everyone's demanding for more women's matches. Oh, not everyone, but like the normal people are, are demanding for women's matches. And yet they don't give us, like, what is this? What is this your merch shop, AEW, that you don't supply the people with the things that they want? Damn it. Just give us more women's matches that matter, okay? Because I know you can do that. Tony Storm is gone, and all of a sudden there's no women.
That's the real question. What will happen first? More than one storyline in the women's division, or more than 3 options at a AEW live event in the merch stand? That's the real. We ask the real questions here. John, who you got with the 5-minute eliminator?
Oh yeah, I guess the question is, how fast is it going to happen in the 5-minute eliminator?
Yeah.
Like, is it 2 minutes? Are they going to get 4?
I think they get 4. I think they get 4 because it's a pay-per-view pre-show.
Yeah. And they seem to be like Tony Khan. They have Tony Khan's attention, at least those 2 girls in Ring of Honor. So I expect they're gonna get a little bit of a showcase here. But yeah, like Maggie said, I kind of wish that the Divine Dominion had something a little more substantial headed into this. I wish a lot of the girls had something a little more substantial. It's their inability to get over another girl on the level of their top girls is killing them. They lost Willow Nightingale and now they're dead. Like you had one, you had one, and now I don't know what they're gonna do. I think honestly they gotta break glass and just pull up Athena. Like there's nobody else built. Like there's nobody else with presence. There's nobody else that has a little bit of, I guess I was gonna say star power, but it's not even star power. It's just that she's the only girl that they've booked with effort in the whole fucking company. So break glass on that. But it's rough out there. TJ's thankfully back in the picture, like you mentioned. So the tag team division should have something in the horizon. Here's to hope in the next pay-per-view they're not on the pre-show doing bullshit again. But
yeah, especially because the next pay-per-view is Forbidden Door, and you have Stardom at your kind of disposal there. So use Stardom at least and give them a challengers that's worthwhile that can get them on the main card. So
it's still gonna be on the fucking pre-show.
Probably so.
John mentioned Willow being gone. This is the point where I'm gonna express some anger because up until now I displayed none, right? Because
They need to update us. They're saying they were taking a cursing count of how many times you curse on the.
yeah, I know. I'm sorry. So Willow relinquished her TBS championship because she was injured, and they just had to fucking do it in a backstage segment, not in front of the crowd, in a backstage segment. Like, this is CM Punk and Thunder Rosa all over again. Because remember when CM Punk had to relinquish the AEW championship, he did it in front of crowd. And then on the fucking same show, they had Thunder Rosa crying her eyes out backstage that she needed to relinquish her championship. And I'm like, why? Why? And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna let this one pass. And then they did the same thing with Willow, which is so wordly beloved that they couldn't even give her like 3 minutes in the ring, and then she just says goodbye to for the some time until she heals, and then the audience has a bit of closure, not some fucking backstage segment. This just fucking sucks. This is so disrespectful. I don't know what the problem is, man. I really don't understand what the problem is.
I would have thought with Mercedes taking her time off, with Tony Storm being out until the end of the year, Tony would have put all his chips behind two people, Willow Nightingale and Thekla. Yes, Willow got 10 defenses, but she's the TBS champion, and most of her defenses happened on TNT on Collision.
Yeah, exactly.
That's one problem there. The fact that she didn't get the promo time in front of the fans, I do agree with that. I don't think that's as big as the booking beforehand. The booking beforehand is what really pisses me off, because she re-signed with the company this time last year.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, why did it take till like December you decide, oh, she's going to be the first ever tag team champion and she's going to win back the TBS championship? Then she was kind of stuck in this double championship kind of vortex where she was focused more times on the tag team title and not as much on the TBS title. Then she lost the tag team titles and was a little bit more focused on the TBS championship, but she fell into the open challenge issue that's going on within wrestling, where open challenges is a crutch to not have any feuds. That's basically what the open challenge becomes. But how I want to understand this. This is what I'm still trying to figure out. I asked this question yesterday. I'll ask it to y'all. How did Tony Khan see that promo with Thekla where she said, "I said dumb bitches and magically you appeared," and everybody and their mama in the crowd, online, and everywhere else was like, "Oh my God, Thekla is amazing. This character is hilarious. She should be the person that's the face of the promotion." She has not had a live mic since then.
Yeah. Explain us.
It's rough. I think with Willow, they were kind of taking for granted. Like I saw her trajectory being the person that was going to win the Owen. Like it was,
yeah.
And I think they took it for granted that they were going to heat her up in the summer. They were like, okay, we'll just do this little holding pattern thing, and then as soon as she wins the Owen, we'll get into it. And it's because of situations like this that you should not do things like that, because of the way this industry works. So it's hoping when she comes back, they just kind of get right into a major push for her, and not like back into the fucking, she's got to rebuild back up from the mid card to the main event. Like, she should just come back and fast forward to the main event scene like immediately. But we'll see what kind of injury it is. Actually, we don't even know how severe.
Oh, hopefully it's not that serious. But the fact that she relinquished the title makes me worried that, and her shoulder's been banged up for a while. A lot of people thought that it was just something that they were doing in matches. No, her shoulder was taped up because she was having shoulder problems, and then she finally got a real injury in the Red Velvet matchup. So, but we'll talk more about the Owen Hart Cup when we get to the main card. One final match for the buy-in, though. We got the Opps, Hook, in his hometown, teaming up with Anthony Bowens, another East Coast native, and they team with, of course, Katsuyori Shibata to verse the Death Riders, Willa Yuta, Claudio Castagnoli, and Daniel Garcia. Of course, this is a matchup that is widely connected to one of the Owen Hart Cup matches that we're about to talk about. But who do you got here in this trios match winning, Maggie?
This is actually a hard one because I love both teams. Probably the Death Riders probably more, but I'm gonna go with the Opps here because I do think that we're gonna get the other way around with the other match that we're about to talk about. So I'm gonna go with the Opps. Because Hook has been booed on the ever since he came back because he cost Hangman, right? And I think he's gonna get cheered here and probably do something with that. But where's Daniel Garcia from?
Daniel Garcia is from Buffalo. From Buffalo, New York.
Okay.
We don't
Yeah, it's not as close as you would think just because it's from New York. It's like 8 hours
very,
drive.
very far away. No
Fucking
hometown credit.
8 hours?
No hometown credit for
That's
you.
the destination from one point of Bulgaria to the other. What do you mean? It's the same state. What the fuck?
There's like nothing in between. There's like nothing but grass and trees in between. Like
There's
New York
nothing in Bulgaria too, sweetie, apart from me. But that's a different and Rusev. But that's a totally different situation. But hey, we won Eurovision, so that's a thing. So
there you go. There you go. I'm happy for you. John, who you got? Opps versus Death Riders.
I'll give it to the Opps because Joe is probably going to lose later. They should give the Opps something. Also, I kind of wish they had done more stuff on television. Like, this is the first time the Opps and the Death Riders interact, and it's on the pay-per-view already. That's you skipped a few steps there, but
yeah,
I'm sure it'll be fine. It'll be a good match, I guess.
Yeah, I'll be different, and I'll go with the Death Riders only because they have the people that usually will get a win on one of these buy-ins, whereas I've never really seen the Opps as a unit win without Samoa Joe. So we'll see what happens here.
I see Anthony Bowens with this new gimmick, and I don't need him to get like pinned right now. Like, it's pretty cool. I think it's gonna work if they stick with it. It's gonna suck for him to just take the fall here or Hook,
No, if anyone's taking the fall, it's gonna be Bowens. I mean, Shibata just lost on this week's Dynamite, so and they're not pinning Hook. So.
No, not in New York. They're definitely not going to do that. But like I said, this is closely tied to our first match that we're going to talk about from the main card because the Owen Hart Cup begins at Double or Nothing, and we get a dream match. It's specifically Will Ospreay's dream match as he will go up against Samoa Joe in the quarterfinals of the Owen Hart Men's Tournament. These two men have been kind of going back and forth over the last couple of weeks, while Will Ospreay has basically taken to his former enemies in the Death Riders to help rebuild his neck back after double fusion surgery. It was Samoa Joe and the Opps who offered a helping hand, said that they helped out Will Ospreay last year in his fight against the Death Riders. So how about he get his training from them? Will Ospreay basically ignored him and ignored Joe and his plea and continued his training with the Death Riders, but as fate would have it, they would meet in the quarterfinals of the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. It led to a fantastic promo on this week's AEW Dynamite and Collision, where Will Ospreay says that he doesn't even have a company on his back. He's got a whole country. That's why he needs to win the Owen Hart Foundation tournament and headline Wembley Stadium. And he finds it poetic that the same group that basically killed the old version of him have rebooted and rebuild this new version, this not aerial assassin, but the assassin that will face Samoa Joe. And Samoa Joe says that Will Ospreay's dream match will become a nightmare. Maggie, I know you're looking forward to this one. Who do you have winning?
First of all, 5 panties. Let me just, start off with that. Oh yeah, John, sweetie.
If John,
Because
if John
that's
needs an explanation of that.
you know,
Another thing I was just gonna ignore.
yeah, ignore. No, we don't ignore stuff here. So you know how most people have star ratings? I have panty ratings because that's how much I'm gonna be washing because I'm gonna wet them all.
Understood.
So,
I didn't. That didn't occur. I'm glad you explained it.
You see the correlation?
It's right there. Yeah, 5 pennies. First of all, second of all, I'm gonna go with Ospreay because it's a whole thing for me for Will Ospreay to win and go to Wembley main event and win the championship there. I was so in love with his Owen last year. He faced Ricochet and Okada, right? It was on the
Who?
same night, right?
Oh, the Continental Classic was the tournament.
that was
Oh,
the C2.
that was the internet. Oh,
last year was the Hangman match.
yeah, the
Yeah,
Hangman
the Hangman
match.
match.
Yeah.
But
that was
the
Yeah.
Owen Hart Cup last year was when he faced Takeshita too, in one of the best
Yeah.
TV
And
matches.
Takeshita,
of the
yeah.
year.
So yeah, I'm got them all mixed up. But yes, the Hangman match was one of my favorite matches from last year. And we were so on the fence on whoever was gonna win that match, and we thought that Will Ospreay was winning that, but it was Hangman, and so I hope that they do give him a proper storyline in this Owen, because I know that it's maybe enough the fact that he's Will Ospreay and it's Wembley, but I don't need his win at Wembley to get the same treatment as Okada and Takeshita did. Just because it doesn't need build because people are already excited for it. Sure, but how about no? Let's just have a proper build and have people actually fucking excited to see that. Yeah, I'm going with Will Ospreay. This match is gonna fucking slap, man. Do you think it's gonna open the show?
I think it should.
It
This
should.
feels like
It
I know
fucking
last
should.
year when the Owen started, it was at Dynasty, and the opener to that show was Will Ospreay versus Kevin Knight. So I think that this
Yeah.
should probably open the show. And no,
And-
I think if I'm not mistaken, the last time Joe opened an AEW pay-per-view in a singles
All In.
match was All In 2023 against CM
Yeah.
Punk, which
Yeah.
was a great match, one of the best matches on that show.
It was kind of overshadowed by a lot of other stuff, but
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about
Couple of
that
things.
stuff. We moved on.
I mean, we were there.
John, who you got in this one?
Yeah, I think Ospreay has to win this match with the story that they're telling. I think it was you that mentioned how needed that promo was that Ospreay had on Dynamite, and I talked about it before. I don't remember what show we were doing anymore, where I said I was mad that this program didn't have any major interaction. Like Ospreay and Joe never even fucking crossed paths. They never had a promo face off. They didn't fight. They didn't brawl. They just, that one time is the first time Ospreay addresses Joe, and now we're getting right into the match. It's like kind of taken for granted how good the pay-per-views are. Like we're really doing we're not doing the heavy lifting when it comes to these things.
No, I wish there would have been more like promo work between the two guys, but I'm looking forward to this matchup. And yeah, I think I agree with y'all. I think that Will gets the win, and maybe he gets the win with his new finisher, the Death Ground, the flying armbar that he hit on, that he put on Ace Austin, since they put that over on Dynamite and Collision this week. But another
That match slapped, man, so much. I wish they could put Ace Austin on Dynamite or like every week. I think he's
become one of Tony's like favorites that he's gonna use often. He
should.
might be like
He
the
should.
new Mark Davis role of just being the guy who's always on the show losing to people until eventually he finds a spot that they
let's
can win.
not lose. But the thing is that I was I was pushing for him to be a part of the Continental Classic because he had just signed with AEW. And I thought that him being a part of the Continental Classic will be a wonderful way for the AEW audience that wasn't familiar with Impact, TNA, whatever, will get a good glimpse at Ace Austin. He can go, man, in the Continental Classic. So he wasn't a part of it. So hopefully this year, fingers crossed. So
we'll see. We see. Another good option to open the show is the other Owen Hart Foundation men's tournament quarterfinal matchup on the show, as Swerve Strickland will go one-on-one with Bandido. These two men have been interacting over the last couple of weeks, starting with Swerve's return to AEW television, where he showed up in the Wild Wild West vignettes that Bandido has been doing and started killing people. People were bloody and battered, and he picked up the most wanted sign and basically made it clear that he was coming after Bandido by burning it. He then cut a promo calling out Bandido, saying that he wants power, and if he's the most dangerous, he has to take out the most wanted. And as fate would have it, these two men meet in the quarterfinals of the Owen Hart Foundation men's tournament. Swerve turned up the heat in this rivalry when he attacked Bandido after his victory over Blake Christian for the Ring of Honor World Championship at ROH Supercard of Honor with a vertebreaker through an open chair. And then they brawled with each other on Dynamite, with Bandido getting the better of Swerve on that occasion. John, who do you got in this quarterfinal matchup?
As much as I love Bandido, I would love to see him have a good Owen. It's not his time, not right now. Swerve Strickland is going to get that win. I honestly see Swerve going to the finals. So it's going to be a great match, but it's time to get Swerve. I tweeted a couple years ago about, why isn't AEW putting me on TV? And then the next week he put a video out like, oh yeah, it's because I'm so dangerous. And then they never brought that up on TV again.
No. He's just doing his own thing.
I don't know what's going on, man, but we really got to take better care of Swerve, because Swerve is one of the very, very top guys in this company. He can't just be fucking rotting away and not knowing what's happening. Come on, man. Let's get that shit together. He's got to get some wins in his Owen, but he's going to lose in the finals. So, what are we going to do? What are we going to do next? I hope they have that figured out already. I hope we're not waiting to figure out what to do with Swerve Strickland. We should have major plans for Swerve Strickland already.
I would say, off the top of my head, I do think that Swerve's winning here, and I do agree with you. He seems like the favorite from the right-hand side of the bracket to make it to the finals at Forbidden Door. But yeah, I do agree also that he's probably not going to win that final. So what is he going to do by the time we get to All In should be the theory. I think that if you're not doing Omega and Ospreay at All In, then Omega versus Swerve 3 should be the destination for All In.
Big old stip.
Big stip. Yeah. Lights out. I've been saying from the beginning of this rivalry, they need a lights out match. These are two guys that excel in that type of matchup, and they would have something completely special. I thought their first match was a 5-star match of the year candidate. Their second match was excellent as well, but they can turn it up to a next level in a lights out matchup. If you are doing Ospreay and Omega at All In, Darby Allin should be his opponent at All In then, because Darby Allin and Swerve have great chemistry with one another as well. I know that upsets Maggie, but I'm just look, Maggie, I'm saying he's not in the AEW World Title match. At least he's in a match.
You keep setting me up for failure.
It's interesting that they haven't had much. They haven't had much. They haven't crossed paths much. They crossed paths once, and they had mentioned how they had the connected Washington hometown thing, and I just felt like they never really took advantage of it. There was a lot more left with that. Yeah, so
they've only had TV matches all these years in AEW. They've only had TV. They've never faced each other one-on-one at a pay-per-view. So that feels like a pretty big matchup to do at All In.
I was gonna say, you mentioned the Kenny versus Swerve and a stip, and I was going to say, I don't know if I want to be putting Kenny Omega and I don't know how many more times I want to be putting Kenny Omega in 20-minute hardcore matches like this. I don't know. I kind of
Kenny Omega. He will do it.
Yeah, I know. That's like fuck. Like,
Listen, if Mick Foley can take a bump, Kenny Omega can go for 20 minutes in a hardcore match.
that's what everybody's gonna be. That's the thing about Mick Foley taking a bump. Everybody's gonna be like, you know what? If Mick Foley can take a bump, I can jump off this moving truck.
I can do this. Maggie, who you got? Swerve and Bandido.
So, all my love for Bandido, man. But this is Swerve versus Will Ospreay at the finals. I think that it's clear for fucking everyone. So it's like Swerve has become for me such a integral part of AEW that when he's not featured in any creative, it feels really wrong. Possibly because one of the greatest AEW storylines ever between Swerve and Hangman, it will forever live in my conscience, and that's probably why. But I'm so glad that he's back. It's gonna be a really wonderful match. It's Bandido, and Swerve. What could possibly go wrong? And like this is probably the first ever pay-per-view for AEW that I'm not bringing up Keith Lee.
And there you go. You brought it up.
Yeah, but I don't think that he's showing up. That's what I mean. And like I really want him to, but yeah. Man.
King, but to answer Pink Pate, he said, what exactly is Swerve going after? What power is Swerve going after exactly? He explained it in a digital exclusive promo, but he says the AEW World Championship. That's why he's in the Owen, is because the power is in the title. So he did answer that. He hasn't lost the plot.
when Maggie said what can go wrong at Swerve and Bandido, I was just thinking like as long as they don't throw any chairs at each other, because Wednesday
that did not go right.
Miscommunication.
Yes.
He's like, what are we gonna do? Let's just run. Okay, over.
I'm leaving.
It was like one of those Danhausen. He puts the smoke off and he's just still standing there. That was one of those moments.
I'm out of here.
Then we got the Women's Owen Hart Foundation tournament kicking off, quarterfinal action. This was supposed to be Willow Nightingale versus Alex Windsor. Willow will be replaced by a wild card. Instead, we get Mina Shirakawa versus the forever Ring of Honor Women's World Champion Athena. These two women are, of course, know each other very well. They feuded last year. It was Athena who injured Mina in the Women's Casino Gauntlet at All In Texas last year. She then beat her in August at Death Before Dishonor to retain the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship, but now they face with an opportunity to move on in the Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament and to earn the opportunity at the AEW Women's World Championship coming up at All in London this year. This not being the wild card versus Alex Windsor makes me worried that the wild card is just going to be someone who loses in our other women's matchup on the main card. I just wanted to address that because I know a lot of people, like myself, when the wild card was brought up, I instantly was like, oh, there's the reason to put Mercedes Moné in the tournament. But if it is Mercedes Moné, it would probably be on this card. So that's why I'm worried.
Yeah.
As far as this matchup goes, I want so badly to say Athena, but unfortunately, I think it's gonna be Mina Shirakawa here. And
you
I'm not
shut your mouth.
I'm not saying that like I don't like Mina. I actually am a big fan of Mina, and I think she's had a great matchup with Athena last year for the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship. But I really want this to be the opportunity for AEW to push Athena to the forefront. Unfortunately, Mina has kind of have a story with the whole Toni Storm being murdered and her trying to gain some momentum as a single star. I just think that they're going to have her win here. Maggie?
You just bummed me out. Because here you go, making all the sense in the world again. No. Athena, she fucking slaps. She has the best finisher in the world. So she should win. I think that she should win the Owen as a whole. So I'm going to say Athena, you jerk. But like I have questions now. Did they say? I'm kidding, of course, sweetie. I love you. Did they say when they're gonna have the wild card versus
No,
Alex Windsor? They haven't.
They
Okay. When is where is the next Dynamite taking place?
That I'm not certain about. I'm guessing somewhere on the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can check for you. But you're
Because,
going
like,
you're going
If
you're
it's
going
in
for
Boston,
Athena.
I think.
Oh well, that might be
It's,
that might be a good reason.
I suppose that if it's there, there's a reason why they're not.
It's in
you know.
Philadelphia.
Oh
Yeah,
shit!
Philadelphia.
No, there's actually a
No.
pretty decent person from the state of Pennsylvania that they could bust out if they really
they
wanted.
could if they really want to fill someone in with star power. There is one other person
Listen.
besides Mercedes.
I know I'm alone. I know I'm on this island and there's not many other people here, but let's be fucking serious, man. None of your other girls are gonna move the needle like Britt Baker if she comes back right now.
What are
Nobody
you
else.
talking about? I've been crying for Britt to come back.
There's a lot of people who are like, well, I think even in the company too. That's the biggest issue.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
People in the company who don't want to work with Britt Baker. There are fans who like gave up on her. I think there's so much value left in
Yeah.
Britt Baker, especially
Agree.
now. Like, come on, you are drowning, you are dying. You need this, and if the girls in the locker room don't like it, step the fuck up, and they won't need a Britt Baker. They will use you instead. So like that's just gonna have to be the way it goes. Like Britt Baker's they're in Philadelphia, they're in Pennsylvania. They lost Willow Nightingale. You lost a star of your fucking Owen Cup.
Yeah.
Okay, it's time to rehabilitate this women's division. Get Athena going. Bring Britt back. Just fire this up.
It was really baffling for me because Britt was one of the best women on the roster. And then I feel like it was it because of the Mercedes Moné match at All In?
That's why
Was
the
it
fans
because-
turned on.
It was
Yeah.
it was the year, it was the what was it, 6-7 months that she had off, what she went through kind of with the illness that she had, and then
Mhm.
she came back and it just wasn't the same. It wasn't the same kind of. She had some good segments with Mercedes in the build up to All In, but in the ring when the bell rang, it wasn't the same Brit. And I think it's really a case of the rest of the roster kind of just passed her by at that time, especially in 2024. You had Mercedes was better than her. Timeless Tony Storm.
Well,
was better
Mercedes
than her.
is better than a lot of people because
I know, but I'm going on. I got more people on this. Statlander was better than her. Willow Nightingale was better than her. Like Athena's better than her. Like there's a bunch of people now. It's not the same that company that it was in 2021, 2022 when she was AEW Women's World Champion. Even in that time when she was still active, Jamie Hayter, her heater, passed her as far as in ring and popularity.
Well, yeah, sure. But like they could have just gave her time. Like I feel like people were a bit too harsh on her because like if they just gave her some time, like things could have, changed because like we don't know what it's like for wrestlers to come back after an illness. I mean, like a lot of things take a toll out of you, and I don't know. I feel like the fans themselves, I have no idea what's going on backstage, and I don't think it's my place to know. But like, I feel like the fans were like a bit harsh. They could have had a bit more patience. As if like they're fucking millennials, man. Instant gratification and stuff.
I think this also Big Man Dog saying she had a lot of drama that had some turn on her. I'm a big Britt Baker fan. I jumped on that bandwagon early when she first turned heel in AEW. But even me, after like it was one thing to hear the rumors and stuff about the Thunder Rosa and her rivalry behind the scenes.
Yeah.
It was another thing when they did the All Access show, the reality show. And you got her best friend in the world, her biggest glazer, Tony Schiavone, saying like, "Shut up! Like, why do you always talk about her?" Like, it literally, it's every word out of her mouth was, "Oh, I'm gonna shit on Thunder Rosa," and that got too much to me because I'm a Thunder Rosa fan as well, and I was just like, dude, like, you don't realize that this is the person that has the most chemistry with you as well. Like, why are you bad mouthing someone that helps your career?
And they had such a wonderful match too.
They had great matches. There was like a couple of great matches that they had, but I didn't put too much stock in the reality show stuff because like the producers tend to work that kind of stuff. I was more the thing that got me with Britt was live on TV where they started her comeback feud with Serena Deeb, and she like shitted all over Deeb with that nobody cares. What are we doing here? And you just never saw either of them again. Like, that was the end of Deeb. That was the end of Britt. Like, what the fuck happened there? Like, I will always want to know what happened the second they walked back in that curtain, bro. Because like, there's no way. Like, everybody who watched it live knew, like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why is this happening? So like, I know Serena Deeb picked up on that. So and then you literally never saw any of them again. I need to know what happened someday. Write that book. Someone write that book.
Yeah, and there was all the stuff with MJF and the Will Ospreay hour-long matchup where she was bad-mouthing them, and Alicia Toot heard about it. There was all the drama of the fallout with her and Adam Cole's relationship. Like, it was, and then
that's
none
of anyone's business.
No, that's none of any business. But it's all of these things happening at once.
Yeah,
like regardless of if it's our business or not, all of these things happen at once. That's way too much for one person, even to deal with mentally on their own, let alone in the wrestling business.
But it definitely has been 2 years now, and at this point, you got to make a move. Like, for the sake of your business, you've got to make a move. You're still paying her, like she still works there. So if she's healthy, which is a big thing, we actually don't know if she's healthy. Like, we might just be fucking fantasy booking her and she's like in a wheelchair or something. We don't fucking know. We really don't know. We haven't seen her forever. So
but like she keeps uploading all her Instagram stories. She looks fucking awesome, man. But like, yeah.
Yeah,
actually, I haven't seen it. I got to check out her Instagram actually, but get her back, bring her back. I'm on the Britt Baker train.
I'm for bringing her back, definitely. But let's talk about one of the big kind of standout matches usually for Double or Nothing is Stadium Stampede or Anarchy in the Arena or whatever they decide, whatever place they're at, what they're going to call it. But it's a big old matchup with music and a lot of violence. Stadium Stampede returns to Double or Nothing this year, and we have the biggest Stadium Stampede of all time. 14 men, 7-on-7. Chris Jericho has assembled the team of the Hurt Syndicate, Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley, and the Elite, Jungle Jack Perry, the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, and Kenny by God Omega to face his rival Ricochet, who will bring the Demand, GOA, Bishop Khan, and Toa Leona, the Don Callis family, Mark Davis, the new in AEW National Champion, and Andrade El Idolo, the IWGP Global Heavyweight Champion, and the Dogs, David Finlay and Clark Connors. A lot of different kind of relationships and feuds in this one. Of course, at the front is Jericho and Ricochet, who has been a thorn in Jericho's side since he made his return after defeating him at Dynasty. Ricochet has gone 3-0 in trios and singles matches against Jericho since his return. Jericho Jericho has not yet picked up a victory in action in an AEW ring since returning in April. He has called on the services of the Hurt Syndicate, who lost with Jericho against the Demand. The Young Bucks and the Dogs have been feuding for the last couple of weeks after the Dogs attacked the Young Bucks following their match with the Rascals. You got Jungle Jack Perry, who was screwed over by Ricochet against Mark Davis, where he lost the national championship at Fairway to Hell. You got Andrade, who really doesn't want to be here, and Kenny Omega, who probably shouldn't be here. That is how everybody is in this matchup. John, who do you got in Stadium Stampede?
I'm gonna give this to the baby faces. There's a lot of big names over there, and honestly, this could go either way. I don't have my heart behind that choice, but if I had to make a choice, it's gonna be the baby faces, just because I'm looking forward to the match. I love Anarchy in the Arena. I love Stadium Stampede. It's a fucking mess. Like, it is gonna be. There are 14 people in this match. That is the possibility of 7 different things happening at once all around the arena. I hope that the directors and the producers all got together with the talent and put down a fucking list of what we're going to be doing and where we need to be focused, because otherwise it's going to be really interesting to see how they keep up with this thing. I don't think they should just let these camera people run around all willy-nilly. That was a big thing I had with AEW. It's like, these directors should know what the fuck your major spots are going to be so they can film them right.
Yeah.
And like you said, 14 fucking people. This is either gonna be incredible or it's gonna be the absolute drizzling shits. So I'm looking forward to this one way or another.
I think Team Jericho gets the victory here. I like the fact that you have Jericho teaming up with the Elite because they were in the first ever Stadium Stampede. MKatze and the Babyface win, by the way. I don't think Stadium Stampede has music like Anarchy in the Arena. That is true. I can be wrong. Did the one at Wembley have music? I don't think it did. It didn't, but I guarantee you this one will. They know their audience, and they know their audience is going to want the music, so they're going to give them the music.
I guess that's gonna be a point of prediction. That what's gonna be the song that they're using?
Y'all know it's gonna be fucking Chris Jericho's song.
I hope not.
It
can be Jericho's song at first, but they gotta have Kenny Omega do the bit from last year and say, "Hey, we're gonna play something else." He can't do Bodies again because you can't recapture that moment. But I'm going with. And sorry, Eddie Kingston, I know you should be in this matchup if this is the case, but DMX Party Up. DMX Party Up.
That would be fucking insane, actually.
That's what I need. I need DMX Party Up. That is my prediction for the song during Stadium Stampede. Maggie, who you got here?
Can it be Slammed by Onyx?
Could be that.
First of all. Second of all, so I cannot believe that I gave this show the biggest rating out of both of you, and I'm the one crapping on all of the matches so far. Like, you guys are so loving the matches. I gave it a 8.5. You all gave it an 8, and I'm like, this match fucking sucks and everything. and here I am again. So do you know how, like, Sid, sweetie, you know how I always crap on WWE for ruining their top babyface in the eyes of Sami Zayn, because like they booked him so poorly and so illogically that the audience turned on him. Yeah. So they found a way to make me not give a crap about Stadium Stampede match. And that is when they made Chris Jericho to be the face in that match. And I'm so angry. I'm so furious. Why are the Elite teaming with Chris Jericho? Like, he beat up the Young Bucks' parents.
He said sorry.
Oh,
he
okay.
Said sorry. He said he deserves it, but he's sorry.
Okay, like that makes up for everything. damn it. I don't know. I because like the stadium stampede matches and Anarchy in the Arena matches, like they're filled with so much hatred with themselves, and they make sense. What happened now is that two people hate each other, and they found a bunch of people so that they can have the match. They made the match for the sake of having the match, and this makes me angry. The match is gonna fucking hump. I'm absolutely sure. But like, I just needed a reason for this to actually make sense, you know? And it's just like, here, damn. You guys wanted that? Like there you go. And it just bums me out. I know the match is gonna be fucking awesome. I'm such a bummer today. The match is gonna be so awesome. But like the way that we got here was a total miss for me. And again,
I agree. This is the most like haphazardly put together. I was disappointed as soon as Jericho and Ricochet were the rivalry that got Stadium Stampede, because I was like,
exactly.
This seemed like a month ago, it seemed perfect to do United Empire and the Death Riders. But as soon as they did that chaos in Canada, I was like, oh, they're probably not going to give them Stadium Stampede.
It's just a bit disappointing. That's all. Baby faces win. I will not have another Kenny Omega loss. Okay, stop it. No more.
I agree. We do have a super chat donation here. Thank you so much, Lauren Ford. He sends us a super chat. Appreciate you. He says, does Stardom have a partnership with every promotion except AEW and WWE? What's going on there? Stardom does have a partnership with AEW, and several Stardom stars have appeared on AEW television, including Mina Shirakawa before she was signed. That was the whole reason where she made a smooth transition from Stardom to AEW. Hazuki is also going to be in the Owen Hart Foundation tournament as well. Yeah, they've been in partnership, and Anna Jay had an excursion over in Stardom, so they definitely do have a partnership. That's probably their, outside of like New Japan, their biggest partnership in their promotion.
I don't remember Momo kicking Mercedes in the fucking neck.
Also true. And this I do agree with. Big Red Dog saying Hurt Syndicate still feuding with the Demand has to be a rib. It's hilarious how long this shit has gone on.
They're not feuding with the Demand. They're just doing Chris Jericho's bidding. That's the suckiest part. Like, could we just fucking stop it? Like, in kayfabe, why does Chris Jericho have so much power backstage that easily with a snap of a finger, he can get, one of the top baby faces, one of the biggest badasses in the company, to have his back? Why? He crapped all over them like months ago. And someone explain it to me in Kiev. Will you hurt our father? Oh, my bad. Sorry. Good.
Well, the Young Bucks understand. They've been assholes in their past.
Shit.
They've been assholes before themselves, and people forgave them. So they understand.
I never thought that they were assholes. They are the founding fathers.
We're definitely assholes as the
founding fathers of this very company that we're all so excited for.
They dropped poor Tony Khan on his head.
And nothing came out of that apart from that awesome segment with the neck brace and the NFL draft.
But we got, for the AEW Continental Championship, it will be Jon Moxley defending against 1/3 of the AEW World Trios champions, Kyle O'Reilly. These two men know each other very well. They've been battling one another since 2022. One of O'Reilly's last matches before his big neck injury was against Jon Moxley in an eliminator to determine who would get the opportunity to become interim AEW World Champion. But more notably, last year, they battled several different times, including O'Reilly almost making Moxley tap before he punched the referee to get disqualified. They had a double count out finish in another matchup. Then it was O'Reilly O'Reilly, who made Moxley tap out in blood and guts and then beat him in a no-holds-barred matchup at Full Gear. But after the matchup, O'Reilly got beaten down by Moxley, and he was then injured and on the shelf for a number of months, including missing the Continental Classic. Then he got an opportunity in an Eliminator matchup this past week on Dynamite, taking Moxley to the limit for the first time in an Eliminator matchup. Someone made it through the 20 minutes, and O'Reilly said he wanted no time limit, so this will not have the 20-minute time limit or 60-minute time limit. It's going to be one fall to the finish. Who walks out Continental Champion? John.
Moxley likely wins, though. I wouldn't even be bothered if Kyle tapped him on because I'm so like I'm really enjoying the stuff between Ospreay and the Death Riders, but because of that, the Continental Championship run has kind of like fell to the side. So Moxley is kind of redoing the Takeshita story here. I was like, well, that sucks. The match is gonna be good. They got the added little caveat that Kyle O'Reilly is the guy that tapped him out twice, and so Moxley this is his demon that he can't defeat, but likely on Sunday he's just gonna beat Kyle and move on like nothing happened. So it's a little bit lacking when it comes to substance. The match is gonna be good though. That seems to be the theme this month.
Yeah, the build-ups have lacked, but the match when the bell rings are going to be great. I thought the matchup on Wednesday was very good. Did it need to go 20 minutes? Not necessarily, but it needs to go 20 minutes to make the excuse for this matchup here. I expect this match to be better. I don't know if it's going to be as great as their no-holds-barred matchup from last year, but I'm also going with Jon Moxley, and I do agree with John that the Continental title run, I've lost interest on it. I'll be honest. That's the same thing he's just doing every month. Now he's just running back the Takeshita storyline, and it'll probably be as good as the Takeshita matchup that we got at Revolution, but it won't amount to anything. And I don't see what's the destination for this Continental title run. I kind of can see a better destination for the Ospreay storyline, where he probably loses to Ospreay at Redemption, but then I don't know what he's doing for the Continental title by the time we get to All In, because I do expect him to still have this title because they don't want to let it off of him. They always have to have these Continental title runs go way too long for no goddamn reason. But
they should pivot off to Moxley Joe, but
ain't gonna do that. Maggie.
Man, Kyle O'Reilly is my boy. I love him so much. Guys, if you haven't listened or read Chris Mueller's interview with Kyle O'Reilly, you absolutely need to. Like, that's fucking gorgeous. Go ahead and listen to it. But it pains me to say, because I really want Kyle O'Reilly to be singles champion. I really do. But because he's a part of the trios, I wish that he didn't win the Continental Championship, because I'm a bit tired of double champions. So like it's getting worn out by now. So I'm gonna vote for Jon Moxley to retain. Again, you guys said it yourselves. It's not a built match because we just got to it after they reached the time limit. But we know we're in for a treat because it's Moxley and Kyle O'Reilly. They obviously have a lot of chemistry with one another. And I was really happy when Kyle O'Reilly was given the opportunity to be the one that beat Jon Moxley so much. Because, like, we who have followed Kyle O'Reilly throughout his wrestling career know what he's capable of.
Yeah.
His match against Kushida will always be here in my mind. It's like one of the best things ever. And because of matches like that, I want Kyle O'Reilly to have all the money in the world via titles, okay? I just want him to have it all. But at this point of his career, he doesn't. But I can just tell that he's having so much fun. And, that also matters, I suppose. But yeah, John Moxley to retain.
Then we got the AEW Women's World Championship up for grabs as Thekla will defend against 3 former AEW Women's World Champions. Hikaru Shida, the longest reigning AEW Women's World Champion of all time. Jamie Hayter and Kris Statlander. Kris Statlander, of course, was the former champion that Thekla defeated in a strap match back in February to win the gold. Jamie Hayter is someone that Thekla has feuded with since her first day in AEW, including the Dynamite after Double or Nothing last year is when that feud started. Jamie Hayter is also the first woman who ever defeated Thekla in one-on-one competition, while Hikaru Shida has been the most disingenuous of all disingenuous baby faces since returning after forming a tag team with Kris Statlander and very much seeming like a heel that wants to fool everybody to be a babyface, but it seems that Kris Statlander is the only one that believes her. Maggie, who do you got in this one?
I think it's kind of obvious that Thekla needs to retain here. If they have Thekla losing this match, I don't think that they have any clue as to how over she is and the goal that they have with her as champion. But on the other hand, if this means that she can get on Dynamite and actually have screen time and mic time, I'll be up for that because she's been locked in Collision for like ever. And I'm not saying the Collision doesn't matter, but it kind of doesn't. So it's I think it's clear that we're gonna have shenanigans between Shida and Kris Statlander. I don't know if they implode at the end of the match or during, whatever. Of course, they're gonna exchange hits because it's a 4-way.
Yeah.
But I think eventually, shits will hit the fan at the end of the match. Tony Khan has this annoying thing that he keeps dragging out storylines when he doesn't have to. So Thekla retaining and him, making Shida and Statlander implode will give him the opportunity to have more than one women's storyline. And if we add the women's tag team championship, it makes 3. So there you go. Okay. And then we have the Owen. So we have a bunch of stuff you can do. Thank you.
John, who you got here?
I got Thekla, but I kind of worry that Tony's gonna shift the belt over to like whatever Kris Statlander and Hikaru Shida are doing instead of just having a separate storyline for them, which is like that's not the ideal situation, but history says that might be what happens. I'm not into that because I don't know what they do with Thekla after that. They probably won't have any plans for her or the Sisters of Sin when you really should have them on TV because you don't have a lot of options as far as like heels and baby faces so that you can have quick dynamic like that. But someone in the comments mentioned that these 4-ways usually have a surprise title change in them too.
Yeah,
and like,
all,
I think
all in London 2023, Page won in a 4-way matchup to become AEW Women's World Champion, and then All Out 2025 last year was when Kris Statlander won the title.
It's because he doesn't want the champion to get pinned, but Kris.
No, ironically, both times the champion got pinned in those.
What's even the point at that point?
Exactly.
But, just getting more girls on the card, I guess. Thekla should retain here, but I wouldn't be surprised if it went over to Shida or something. Honestly, that would be a silver lining if that happened. At least I really like Shida.
Not.
I just don't know.
Don't kill Tekla's momentum because I do feel like, despite everybody loving Thekla and her being elevated with this reign and with winning the title, no question, and she's kind of leapfrogged a whole bunch of people that were in front of her since coming into AEW. I don't think that Thekla will be defending the AEW Women's World Championship at All In. I think that Mercedes coming back to beat her probably as soon as Forbidden Door. The fact that Mercedes is not in the Owen makes me think she's winning the title before we get to Wembley Stadium.
That's why I thought Owen, Mercedes and Willow was the match. So I
thought it was going to be winner takes all, TBS title, Women's World Championship at All In with Mercedes and Willow 3. But I still think that if Mercedes is not in the Owen, she's definitely taking the title off of Thekla before All In.
It'd be good for Thekla to get in the ring with Mercedes too.
Yeah, and that's a big matchup to do at like a Forbidden Door if that's where that matchup's going to go down. So we shall see, but I am going with Thekla to retain here. Laurent saying maybe a sad fact. He says they don't have any plans for Thekla now, even though Queen Namanata is right there as a potential feud for Thekla. I don't think Tony sees what we see in Queen Namanata, unfortunately.
Tony's a fucking racist then. I don't want to hear this shit. That's the only excuse. That's the only reason. I can't even imagine a logical reason why Tony Khan would look at Queen Aminata and not see everything that he needs in Queen Aminata. Maybe it's because
great, man.
It's because she'd be knocking the shit out of these fucking like, that's why. Is that why? Hit her back then. Why don't you do something about it? Make it interesting.
I agree. I definitely agree there. Then we got the matchup I brought up earlier in this preview. Kazuchika Okada defending the AEW International Championship against Konosuke Takeshita. Ladies and gentlemen, you probably wouldn't believe me if you watched AEW television the past 2-3 months. 8 months ago, this was the hottest feud in AEW. You would not believe me if you've just been watching in this calendar year, because they took a lot of steam off of this one following the World's End and the finals of the Continental Classic. But these two guys have been at each other's throats ever since Okada became part of the Don Callis family. It all stems back to their three-way matchup for the for the Unified Championship back at All Out with Takeshita, Okada, and Dorada, where Okada won. Then Don Callis paired up Okada and Takeshita as a tag team. They had an instant classic with Brodito where their differences cost them in the end. Then they were going back and forth. Both men entered the Continental Classic, and they basically faced in the semifinals where Okada used the screwdriver, the Don Callis specialty, to get the victory and move on to the finals, where he lost the Continental Championship to Jon Moxley. Then ever since then, the beginning of 2026, they've taken a whole lot of steam off of this one until finally they were paired up with one another against the Young Bucks at Dynasty, where Takeshita walked out on Okada and let him get Meltzer driver to lose that matchup. But before that matchup, Takeshita only agreed to that tag match with the whole incentive that he would be able to challenge Okada for the International Championship at Double or Nothing. After the matchup, though, Don Callis didn't want Okada to take the match, but Okada said, nah, I need to prove that I am better than Takeshita once and for all. So that will be the matchup at Double or Nothing. You also wouldn't believe me if I told you this was the first match announced for Double or Nothing. And literally, they had two choices, Double or Nothing, and they went with nothing to the build-up to this matchup over the last 4 weeks. Maggie, we all know this matchup is gonna slap as soon as the bell rings, but what have you thought about the lack of build to this matchup, and who do you think wins on Sunday?
Yeah, because of the lack of the build, it gets only 3 pennies, okay? And I don't make the rules. I do, but I don't make the rules, okay? It's baffling for me. And I don't want to say that this is AEW being lazy, because that's the other company's shtick. And if you're gonna steal it, they don't have anything interesting. But because they think, well, it's already made because it's Takeshita and Okada. Yeah, that's great, but like, give it some spice, give it some kick. So this, this has to be the passing of the torch, right? This
You would hope,
this should
right?
be Takeshita beating Okada, right? I mean, because if it's not, I don't know what we're doing here. I'm gonna go with Takeshita, but I'm sure that I will have zero notes about this match. I'm just gonna sit there and just watch it happen. And I don't know, for me, it makes all the sense that Okada just lose clean as a sheet, loses to Takeshita. For me, Takeshita is probably one of the biggest baby faces, should be one of the biggest baby faces in the company. If he's not now, after he wins, presumably this week, in the next year, he should be one of the biggest baby faces. I don't know what they do with Kyle Fletcher when he returns, hopefully, but Takeshita is right there, and he's proven many times that he's one of their best assets. So let's trap him up and just see what he can do. Also, the fans love Takeshita, so
They do. Every time he has one of these big matches, they're always behind him, and I expect them to be behind him on Sunday as well. John, who you got, Okada or Takeshita?
It has to be Takeshita for a number of reasons. Right now, even in New Japan, they put this fucking TV title on him, and he's locked into these 15-minute matches. It's like, well, they could be good, but they're also on the bottom of the card. Nobody gives a fuck about them. He had him facing Chase Owens. Chase fucking Owens.
No, it's versus Sonata.
And versus Sonata. And you know what? At least that would be a decent match because the fucking
that's an upgrade from Chase Owens, but you have to also realize that this is House of Torture Sonata. This is not Sonata of bullshit. 3 years ago.
You see, Okada is kind of just floating. I mean, Takeshita's kind of just floating right now everywhere. I think this is exactly what he needs: a clean win over Okada in a situation where they tried to fuck him over, but he is such a goddamn super babyface that he can destroy. He can just crush right through it and win the title anyway, and come out on top and have a big moment for Takeshita, because a loss for the sake of heat after all these months of nothing is gonna be a fucking waste. Actually, that's they already they had their match in the Continental Classic where he lost. You can take another loss to Okada if you're gonna do a series that you're gonna end it all in or whatever. He's got to get the win here. Like, he has to get the win here.
Yeah, I've said, I'm kind of like the disenfranchised Takeshita fan, where I'm just like, if we're not going to get the win, can we at least progress the story? Can he leave the Don Callis family at the very least if you're going to have him lose again? But yeah, I'm going to go with y'all. I think that the person who needs this win badly is Takeshita. Takeshita cannot lose this matchup and have any type of equity with the fan base that loves him every time he goes out there. And I'm just hoping that Tony saw the quality of that Darby Allin matchup and is like, yeah, I should probably put the international title on this guy.
He's gonna get hit in the head with a screwdriver. He's so fucked.
Chase telling us, because Chase is our betting guy in the chat, Takeshita is the betting favorite for this matchup. He is 2-10 when he is the betting favorite in AEW pay-per-view matches.
I don't usually bet on pro wrestling or anything, but I should bet on Takeshita then, or I should bet on Okada.
No, you should bet on Okada because he's the underdog. Yeah, he's saying Okada is a plus 185 on Bet Online. Sad fact for Takeshita, since 2025, Takeshita is 2-10 as a betting favorite.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Never tell me the odds.
It's a great reference for this week.
Sorry. Yes, it is. But now we got one of the other big matches on this card, and it is an I Quit matchup. It's going to be FTR defending the AEW World Tag Team Championships against Cope and Cage, Cage and Cope, Adam Copeland, and Christian Cage. if Cage and Cope lose this matchup, they can never team again. These two teams have been feuding since last year when Cage and Cope reunited with one another and defeated FTR at All Out 2025 in their hometown of Toronto, Ontario, Canada. But after the matchup, FTR got the last laugh. They spike power drive Cage, they handcuff Cope to the ring, and they power drive Cope's wife, Beth Copeland, right in the middle of the ring. Took out Cage and Cope for a number of months before they made their return at Revolution following FTR's Instant Classic with the Young Bucks. Cage and Cope got a measure of revenge, attacking them and sending them off. And then the match was set for Dynasty, where they had a great match last month where FTR got their win back, defeating Cage and Cope in a close call for them. But FTR said that it was over between them and Cage and Cope until Cope made a Double or Nothing type of offer, saying that him and Cage would never team together if they lose their next match against FTR in a New York City street fight. But FTR says, we accept the stipulation of you never teaming again, but we want this matchup to be I Quit. Who will say I quit? Who walks out AEW World Tag Team Champions? And will Cage and Cope team again? Maggie.
Okay, I fucking suck because I gave this entire show an 8.5 and I'm yet to bitch again. Guys, I don't care about this match. I just, if it wasn't for Christian in this match, I don't care. I don't know if I would have cared at all because I don't know. It's back when Copeland was challenging Moxley for the championship and he was in the title picture, and I hated it so much because that's just not for me. Like, there's so many fresh young talent and on that roster, like, why not do that? And I understand why, because I've seen this match a bunch of times. I know it wasn't an I Quit match or anything, I understand, but like, can we just get moving with the Motor City Machine Guns and the New Day and everything? Hopefully.
They're not going to be here until like the end of July.
I don't care. Like, can we just have something fresh? I don't know. Like, they could have they could have built a proper storyline with Shane Helm's promotion, but like they're fucking facing ridiculous people on the buy-in.
Did you say Shane Helms Promotions?
Shane Taylor Jesus fucking Christ. Shane Taylor Promotions. I'm sorry. Shane Helms should have promotions too. If I have to be honest. But yeah, I feel like Cope and Christian win here. Like, they're doing this for Beth, so yes. Yeah.
I am also going with Cage and Cope to win the tag team titles because we're still on the road to the triple threat TLC at All In. John?
Yeah, Edge and Christian are going to take the titles. It's I thought they were going to take it in Canada. So
same.
Yeah.
And I don't see them unceremoniously separating on the random New York pay-per-view. So it's probably time for FTR to drop those belts. It's going to be a weird I don't know what kind of tag team title reign Edge and Christian are going to have. But possibly I hope they put some effort into it, defend it more than I don't know. They'll be all right. I lost my train of thought for a little bit, but they'll be all right.
He's like, you know what? I'm just gonna leave it there.
I'm not like, I'm sure this is gonna be fine. I'm just not taken by the storyline right now. Like I don't know.
No, this is another one where they just took their foot off the pedal. They think after they made the matchup, they was like, okay, we'll throw them in a random multi-man matchup. We'll have FTR defend randomly against the Conglomeration, and we'll have Cage and Cope do a promo. No, that was in the build-up to the Bucks matchup, which was actually a good build. This one, it was the Conglomeration. He lost a random double Jeopardy matchup to Orange Cassidy, and then they did the tag matchup on Dynamite Collision.
Which I don't understand. Like, what? It must come down to availability for Edge and Christian, but like, fuck, There's got to be a better way. When you spend weeks interacting with a whole other team, and then we get to the pay-per-view, and I'm supposed to be excited that they're facing Edge and Christian. They haven't seen each other. When was the last time they touched each other? They spoke to each other directly. Edge is doing party matches with the Young Bucks. They're not even in the storyline. Although I guess they will be involved down the line if they still are planning on doing something with the Bucks, FTR, Edge, and Christian. But let's get that shit going, man. Damn.
James Hayes, thank you so much being a member of the channel for 33 months. He says, hello, hi, how everyone doing today? We are doing well, because it is time to talk about the matchup that, unfortunately for Maggie, is the best built matchup on this entire card. And that is,
you said that already.
The main event. Darby Allin defending the AEW World Championship against Maxwell Jacob Freeman, MJF, title versus hair. It was on the April 15th Spring Breakthrough special of AEW Dynamite. Darby Allin, after defeating Andrade El Idolo at Dynasty, earned himself an opportunity in his home away from home in Everett, Washington, to get the opportunity at the AEW World Championship. Meanwhile, Maxwell Jacob Freeman defeated Kenny Omega at last month's Dynasty and went completely dark on social media and didn't even realize he had a title match on Wednesday. Darby Allin cut a amazing promo talking about how much he sacrificed climbing a mountain, putting posters up to advertise the show, and wanted his one opportunity at the AEW World Championship, which he did on that night. And after a pep talk from Sting, he got the job done in 2 minutes, pinning MJF to become the new AEW World Champion. Darby Allin always said that he was going to hold on to the throttle until he sees death or the AEW World Championship, and he got that, and he was determined to prove himself as the AEW World Champion, and he has gone on an amazing run, defeating Tommaso Ciampa, Konosuke Takeshita, Brody King, Kevin Knight, Pac, Sammy Guevara, and Speedball Mike Bailey. 7 title defenses in 4 weeks. It's just a ridiculous number for that much time. While MJF has been looking and searching to get his rematch for the title, Darby denied him over and over again, says that he had to put something on the line to get that rematch, and he offered his scarf, he offered the Dynamite Diamond Ring, $1 million, and Darby said no to all of that. Since MJF is the most vain person he has ever met in his life, he wants him to put something that he holds sacred, something that he flew all the way to Turkey and he paid good money for, his hair. He wanted title versus hair. And over the last couple of weeks, MJF has been haunted by bald people, been chanting, getting the chants from the fans of bald, bald, bald. He does not want this matchup at all, but he was forced to sign the contract to get his opportunity to become a 3-time AEW World Champion by the age of 30. So in his hometown, in his home state of New York City, he gets the opportunity to beat Darby Allin again. They are 1-1 in singles competition in their AEW careers. Who wins 3, and will MJF be shaved bald? Maggie, who you got?
First of all, thank you for letting me go first because I have to hop off.
I know.
Second of all, hopefully MJF puts a fucking end to this ridiculous fairy tale that is Darby Allin's title ring. And I know that, like, the annoying thing is that he's been a proper champion. Okay, he has been. Okay, let's end this. I also, like, if I need to add, if MJF does go bald because, like, he loses the match, I want him to be shaved here only, you know, just so he can have a bald spot. That I only want that, because that's gonna be fucking funny as hell. I'm also really sure that he's not gonna shave the hair that he paid for, like, unless he has a ridiculous movie role coming. That's not happening. But when you think about it, it's 2026 and we have bald caps And we also have CGI. So he doesn't need to sacrifice all the money that he paid for in Turkey. So, like, let's get over ourselves, okay? It was fun for you guys while it lasted. It was not fun for me, like, whatsoever. Hopefully this ends and I will be able to, enjoy a proper champion in the eyes of MJF. I also have a Burberry scarf. It's not real Burberry. I'm poor, but like it's no, it's a knockoff. But like it's because like I love wearing it because MJF is the main character in AEW whenever Hangman's not around. So MJF wins the championship, and finally, hopefully, he drops it to Will Ospreay at Wembley. So this is my 2 cents. Fuck Darby. So guys, thank you so much for having
Give
me
you
on the show.
the spotlight so you can send them off the right way, Maggie.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I want every time I wonder when will I cross a certain line and you guys don't have me on the show, but I never seem to do that, and I hope I never do because I love it here. John, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure. I hope I didn't scare you or anything. So guys, you can follow me on Twix, Twitter, whatever at Maggie_IK and on Instagram at Maggie.IK. You can catch me in about 2 to 3 minutes on Fightful Over Books for Coexisting with Rob and Maggie. Please finish this show and then hop on Fightful Over Books for us. Please subscribe to Fightful Select on Patreon. The easiest money you're ever going to spend on wrestling is cheaper than Starbucks and it's cheaper than Costa. Go buy regular coffee. Those two suck. Thank you guys so much for having me on the show. Until next time.
I'll see you next week. We're going to meet up next Friday for Clash in Italy.
For Clash and whatever. Yes. And yeah.
Later, Maggie. Bye. John, what have you thought about the build to Darby MJF title versus hair, and who wins on Sunday for you?
Yeah, the whole Darby Allin title run, I think, has been almost expertly balanced out with the MJF build. Like, even the way they had Roosh challenge Darby for the title, like after the pay-per-view, like that's just a great attention to detail there. Like, this was pretty much the best build you can get. Like, they did everything right. Darby had the perfect run. Like, he did everything he could do as champion. When he loses, I will still feel fulfilled that he was champion. Like, that was great. Yeah. I can't wait to see what he does next. I hope that he still has a major focus at All In this year, because last year he was part of someone else's main event. But yeah, it's gonna be a good match. I imagine this is gonna be like the big match, the one that they haven't had yet. So
yes,
I want to see how MJF fucks Darby over, because it's got to be like some horrible thing that leaves everybody pissed the fuck off. Even though he's in New York and he should have the big reactions for him, he's MJF. I think he can get all those people to hate him in the end. It's gonna be great. And even the thing about this too is, like, yeah, we're smart fans, so we kind of know MJF is not gonna shave his fucking. He's not gonna shave his new hair that he bought, but also, maybe. maybe.
Oh, I love this. It's looking like it's a very even line here, or weird line for this matchup.
That's exactly what I was saying at the end. It's like, maybe.
Yeah, there is a chance. They did. I agree with you. I said that yesterday on the AEW Dynamite review, that I love the fact they had Roosh make the challenge. So, like, there's a chance. So you're telling me there's a chance? There's a chance that MJF's gonna be shaved bald. So yeah, they have very much set this up where it's not a foregone conclusion that MJF's winning back the championship. I think that he should still be favored to win by most people, but this Darby Allin run has gone way better than any of us could have ever imagined. And yes, we could have imagined that he was just going to go balls to the wall and defend the title like twice a week, 2 weeks in a row, and every single week on Dynamite. But I don't think anybody could have imagined these matches being like the Speedball matchup was probably the weakest of his title reign, and that's still like a 4.25 star matchup. Like that's the bar that he has set with 5-star instant classics with Ciampa and Takeshita, these great matches with Brody, Kevin Knight, and Pac. And then you got a really fun, great matchup with Speedball Mike Bailey. And this one, especially with this stipulation where both guys have something on the line, the near falls are going to get so much of a reaction down the stretch of this matchup. It's Darby Allin and MJF on pay-per-view for the first time since what I still think is the greatest opener in AEW history from Full Gear 2021. I was in the building for that show, and I've never live seen a better opener than that. MJF and Darby Allin just showing off their great chemistry, and the fact that their last matchup was 2 minutes, they were saving everything for this one. So, and I love the fact that everyone, even Maggie, one of the biggest haters, is saying like the reign has been great, and no one can deny that except for one person. We had a short where we were talking about ranking the Darby Allin title run, and myself, Chrissy, and Josh all said that we all think it's a top five AEW World Title reign. I said to me personally, I think that only the Kenny Omega run in 2021 as the belt collector and MJF's run that this year, the second run, not the first run, the second run is probably better to me than this Darby Allin run. And I literally had someone in the comments, I won't dox them, Mike. I'll just say his first name. That's not doxing because I didn't give the last name. He said top 5 ? You guys are crazy. It's a 6-7 week reign. He is about to lose it, and it's a nice run, but all time you guys are some Darby groupies. And all I want to say to that person is, you literally did not give any points of why you think it's not a top 5. You just complained. You called us Darby groupies because we are judging the quality of the reign. You're talking about length. This is what a lot of wrestling fans nowadays, they think that a longer reign equals a better reign, when it really doesn't. Like the Roman reign was great, but the second half of the Roman reign was not. Everybody still complains about that to this day, that he was just collecting days with not even being on television. Even though it's a 5-week reign, it's the greatest short-term reign that I've seen in like 20 years. Like he just went balls to the wall with it. The quality of matches, the impact that it does for Darby, who was probably the least hottest he's ever been in AEW before winning this title, and now he feels like a certified made man main eventer for the rest of his AEW career. That's impact. That's the impact of this reign, this 5-week reign, and the quality that he gave us. And he went, for me personally, and for Jimmy Macaram, who, if y'all know this channel, Jimmy Macaram is one of the biggest AEW haters out there, and he even said, we've been saying this for 2 years, since the Continental Classic in 2024, Darby Allin is one of the greatest TV wrestlers of all time. And I said it yesterday, I'll say it here. He went from one of to the greatest TV wrestler of all time in this run. Like, you could have said he's top 5 TV wrestlers before this reign. After this reign, he is the greatest TV wrestler I have ever seen in the 35 years I've been watching the sport, the business of pro wrestling.
And it's fitting that all the defenses took place on television. It's just fitting for Darby Allin's career. Like, this is where he does it best, in front of everyone, like this was it was special because of how short it was. It was perfect for Darby Allin. Darby won this title, I would say, he won this title 4 or 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks or 7 weeks ago. He is the top world champion on the planet. Like hands down. Like, you're talking, if you want to count any promotion, I'm talking fucking WWE, New Japan, the Stardom champion just became Stardom champion. fucking CMLL doesn't care about belts. Fucking AAA is Dominic Mysterio, who doesn't even show up on the show. Like, come on. Darby Allin is the top world champion on earth, and he did that in the span of 7 weeks with 8 title defenses or 7 title defenses. It's unheard of. I mean, I love it. I'm sad that it has to end, but I also need it to end because it's kind of like me personally. When I see a good movie, I don't want to see a sequel. I don't want you to touch it again. This was perfect. I want it to end, and I want to hold this little reign on a pedestal by itself. Like, thank you for that core memory, Darby. Like Inside Out, it's just a little ball. Thank you for this. Thank you for memory. I'm keeping it. I love it. And then, like we said, from this, there's so many other places you can go with the story, especially with access to Mick Foley now. Like, Darby, you put it all on the line for 7 weeks. Let me tell you what happens when you do something like that. I'm fucked up. You know,
I'll never be this time again. I can't even walk.
I can't wait. I love
wait.
it.
Yes, that's gonna be awesome. That's gonna be incredible. We got Chilla with Chase who says, yeah, Darby's reign for me is 4. I got Kenny and the 2 MJF reigns ahead of it. I enjoyed Better Than You, baby. LOL. I enjoyed Better Than You, baby, Chase. But my one question for you: did you enjoy the Devil storyline? Because you're basically negating 3 months, the final 3 months of his title reign, if you're just gonna focus on one thing, because it wasn't all that. Once Adam Cole jumps off that ramp, that title reign does diminish a little bit. I got that at 4 at this point. Darby has leapfrogged at least that first MJF title reign for me.
Oh yeah. Oh hell yeah. He's leapfrogged almost all of them. like you said, top 5 easily. I would have to do a little thinking. I know for sure. I think the Kenny Omega reign is the best one that they've had in the history of the company. Yes, I just have to really, really look at all the reigns to kind of see where I place Darby. But I know this is top 5 easily, likely top 3.
We got Power Jerry Fincher says, yeah, I hate when there's a great movie and folks are like, this movie deserved a sequel, and it's like, no, it didn't. Yeah, sometimes it's like, do you want to? But you will have like this type of like fan that remembers this reign. So anytime Darby gets another shot at the AEW World Championship, you think that it's a possibility that he can win now. Because he's done it, and he had this reign that you're not going to forget for the quality that he was able to produce. So amazing stuff from Darby Allin. Unfortunately, though, it all ends on Sunday. I think that MJF wins and becomes 3-time AEW World Champion. But I also don't think that MJF, this reign, will go as long as his first reign, or won't even be as long as his second reign.
I know you guys have been saying like maybe redemption is it for MJF. And I'm just like, that's so crazy. That's so nuts. But also, like, he's a dickhead, so it wouldn't be the worst thing ever. You know, like if his character ends up getting fucked over like that in a month, he has to sell it like, what the fuck just happened to me? So that's also a really cool story caveat. I don't see it. Like, it's crazy. It's gonna have to happen. Like, they're gonna have to start pushing Kenny to the moon before I start believing it. But there was that hint after he lost the match to MJF that this wasn't over. And we haven't seen Kenny Omega really since then, which is why I was like, I don't know why the fuck he's in this Stadium Stampede match.
I agree. Yeah.
Okay. But if he gets to win here and then shows up on Dynamite again, I imagine you'll get a promo or something about MJF. And that's the only time I'll start to believe maybe it's gonna be Kenny versus Ospreay, like, because one, I would prefer that match. Like, again, I would love to see Kenny versus Ospreay. I mean, that fucking second Kenny versus Ospreay match plays after anytime I finish watching CMLL, for some reason that fucking match comes up on AEW's YouTube. Nice. Let me tell you, people, there was a moment in that match where Ospreay brings back the Tiger Driver 91. This was the first time I'd seen it on television, on American television in my life. Never expected to see that shit. That was like a come to Jesus moment. Like, I got up on my feet, like, I can't fucking believe that just happened in front of my face. It's gonna take a lot to match that moment, but I think they can do it. I'm excited to see it. Don't give me hope. I just kind of resign myself to MJF versus Ospreay.
I love their Forbidden Door matchup, but their Wrestle Kingdom matchup is better to me. I know that might be a controversial take for some, but their Wrestle Kingdom matchup, I think it's a top 4, top 3 match of all time. Like Kenny Omega being Kenny Omega again, that was just like, oh, my heart became full again in the Tokyo Dome. The spot where he jumps down and he does the double stomp onto the table, and then he smashes Will Ospreay's head into the table, busts him open, and then he says, "Hello, it's Kenny." One of my favorite moments. One of my favorite moments in the history of pro wrestling is that. I still think about that spot. Me and Jimmy are definitely gonna watch that Wrestle Kingdom matchup on Go Match Series. But yes, it's gonna be interesting how we get to what's gonna happen at Forbidden Door, what's gonna happen at if there is the Redemption pay-per-view, even though we kind of got a good hint about that because Mystery Wrestling, the promotion owned by Evil Uno, they usually run shows during WrestleMania, during AEW pay-per-view weekends. They already announced their show in Montreal at the end of July.
Oh,
so a lot of people think that we're getting Forbidden Door, the Redemption pay-per-view on July 26th.
In Montreal, in Canada. Oh my god.
In Canada.
Oh my god.
The stars are lighting up.
This is cool though. This is cool though, because last year's Double or Nothing with Ospreay and Hangman, there was that like, who can it be? Like, we really don't know who the fucking main event could be. So I'm glad they were able to recreate that energy there. Like, who the fuck is going to main event All In? I'm excited. This is fun. But
it is.
Let's hope that whatever build they're putting us through actually is worth the time though, because they're like, okay, it's gonna be Kenny versus Ospreay, and you know that shit is gonna rock. And now they're off to face whoever the fuck, and they're never gonna see each other again until the pay-per-view. Or Kenny's going home.
I think if it's Ospreay versus MJF, I think that will be a killer matchup as well. I love their matchup from Wembley Stadium. I was a bigger fan than a lot of other people of their 1 hour matchup.
I love that match.
I love that match. I think that was one of the best matches of 2024. Yeah, definitely more than Britt Baker. I love their chemistry together, and I do feel like MJF right now, for me, 5 months into the year, he's the wrestler of the year. He's got the best character. He's amazing on the mic. He's got great matches. He's drawn big houses for all the pay-per-views year over year. Every single pay-per-view that he's main evented, the 3 that they've had so far this year, have done a bigger house than the pay-per-view the year prior. And as well as all of that, he has also been the face of the company. Like, this media tour that he's been on to promote Double or Nothing has been amazing, and it's further cemented him as like the face of the company and my wrestler of the year. So I think that if they decide, oh no, we're not going to go in that direction and we're going to do Omega and Swerve instead at All In, and we're going with Ospreay and MJF, I don't think that's the wrong decision either.
Yeah, I mean, he's to me the best top guy on earth right now. Like, he does everything right. Like, he is what I feel like Cody wants to be. Like, the way MJF comes off in these interviews is like, I'm waving this flag, but I don't come off like a fucking cocksucker. You know, like, you know, that's the biggest thing. Like, the way he's able to balance that feeling out, like, yeah, I love AEW, but I'm still me. I don't come off fake. I don't come off plastic when I talk about the way I feel about the company. It's also the way he's able to directly address some of the more controversial topics, and not just the fact that he's willing to address them, but the way that he does. This guy, when people are like, oh yeah, he's a good talker, yeah, grabbing a fucking microphone and insulting somebody really well is not all it takes to be a good talker. It's that right there. It's when he can sit in those interviews and make them a compelling interview. Not just, oh, I didn't get in trouble, I said all the right things on my PR script, this was a successful tour week. No, like, actually answering questions, having conversations, and promoting the company, and then going back to being a fucking heel on TV. Like,
exactly, he maintains his character
Yeah.
at the same time. Like Jimmy yesterday on AE Ramble, this is a point that he's made for I think a few years now, but it's even more true now in 2026. He has said in the past that MJF is more important to AEW than Cody Rhodes is to WWE, and now I don't even think there's a question. There's no debate to that anymore.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. It's just as simple as if you remove MJF from AEW, they would be in serious trouble. If you remove Cody Rhodes from WWE, they will continue moving like nothing happened. They'll slot in Braun Breaker or something, you know, like it doesn't fucking matter. You know, there's nobody, the only person in that company that could give that feeling would be like a Roman Reigns. And even still, because the fucking way that machine works, they would probably be okay. So my thing would be like, now, when I call MJF the best top guy in the fucking planet, and somebody responds with, well, can he make as much money as Roman Reigns or whatever? I would simply ask, if you put Roman Reigns in AEW, would he be able to make as much money as MJF? I don't know. Like,
yeah,
you know,
that'd be the question, because I do think MJF in WWE would make just more, even more money that he's making in AEW.
Oh my god. I think, I mean, as much as he loves AEW, I genuinely believe that WWE is an inevitability for MJF. I just hope that the company has, you know, the company's ready by then.
Yeah, because they couldn't afford to lose him right now. They couldn't afford to lose him right now. Like, he is the number one guy in AEW, despite not having the championship going into the show. But we are both predicting that it looks like he is going to walk out a 3-time AEW World Champion. But if you want to hear what we think about AEW Double or Nothing, you can join us right back here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel on Monday. We got an all-star panel for that as well. You had an all-star panel for the preview. You got an all-star panel for the review. It will be myself, John, True Draw Josh, who will be in the building at Louis Armstrong Stadium, as well as Top Guy JJ, who will also be in New York City for Double or Nothing. Those guys will be there. They'll give us the live perspective while me and John are watching it at home, and we are breaking everything down from AEW Double or Nothing. Join us back here on Monday, 12:05 p.m. Eastern time for that. Tomorrow, we got the True Hill Heat flagship podcast at 10:05 a.m. Eastern time. Myself, True Draw Josh, Miss Chrissy Love, and Top Guy JJ will be here for that. On Sunday, me and John will be teaming up before even the Double or Nothing review, as we'll be joined by the True Draw Josh for our WWE Saturday night's main event review. So we're keeping you busy, John, now that you're a member of the team. We appreciate you.
Let's do it. You're gonna get tired of me this weekend, people, because I'm gonna be here as much as I can. I can't wait.
Yes, we can't wait to have you, and appreciate everyone who joined us live. Appreciate y'all if you're watching us on demand. If you haven't already, drop the thumbs up, share this video, subscribe if you are new, hit the bell to stay notified so you get everything that we got available for you for this Double or Nothing week and weekend. And John, let the people know where they can follow you on social media and when they shall see you again.
Follow me on social media at Dirt Sheet Radio on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube. Check me out. Follow John Escudero on Facebook if you want. But that's pretty unhinged. I'll say whatever the fuck I want on there. I don't know if you want to you might get offended. Not like a weird boomer, like say offensive slurs and things, but like I might say something that you're bothered by. Definitely check me out on the Saturday night's main event review on this channel. Check me out on the AEW Double or Nothing review on this channel. Check out Dirt Sheet Radio. The latest episode is live right now. It came out on Thursday. It's not very old. It's still very good. Check that out. And then, yeah, I'll be around. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, as always, good sir. And you can follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSB3. You can follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at TrueHillHeat. Patreon.com/TrueHillHeat. $3 a month gets you exclusive content. The best way to support us when we're not live here. Check out all the great content we got on the channel right now, like our WWE Saturday night's main event preview from earlier this week with myself and Shad talk scraps from Wrestling Republic. Check out our our exclusive interview for True Heels BTR Between the Ropes as we talk to the curator of Ashe Wrestling, Darius Lockhart, ahead of his big Ashe Men's Championship matchup against Darius Carter on Saturday. We talked about that matchup in depth, his feud with Darius Carter, how it is to be a wrestler and a booker for a promotion. So a lot of good stuff in that interview. So make sure you go and check that out if you haven't already. Check out our AE Ramble review for AEW Dynamite, the go home show ahead of Double or Nothing, with that Willow Nightingale announcement, injury, and relinquishing the TBS title, as well as being out of the Owen Hart Cup. And we had an in-depth conversation about the many options that there will be for the wild card in the tournament as well. Like I said before, join us tomorrow, 10:05 a.m. Eastern Time, the True Heel Heat flagship podcast, as we'll be talking about that, as well as the rest of the wrestling week, WWE, New Japan Pro Wrestling with the Best of Super Juniors tournament going on. We got possibly, I might be able to watch some Stardom tomorrow morning, and we'll talk about that on the show, as well as CMLL, AAA. Yeah, I had to remind John. Everything else, you know the deal. The True Heel Heat flagship podcast is where we talk about it all. Remember to drop the thumbs up, and we'll see you on the next one. For John, it is me. It is me. For Maggie, it is me. It is me. Your True Heel Phenom SP3. This has been our AEW Double or Nothing 2026 preview. We are signing off until next time.